Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest governing sport. We say the things on here that nobody dare say. Isn't that right, Puppy Parsons? You licker. You should be embarrassed about the amount of sit downs you're doing in the last 4 or 5 days with Eddie Hills. We know who Eddie Hills is, don't we? Anyway, we'll come to him in a minute. In the blue corner, the 6-0 Iceman from Billericay, 4 by way of Eddie Hills. Hills. Yeah, that's right, innit, Parsons? Absolute licking. Unbelievable. Why don't you do something about boxing instead of Eddie's beef with Oscar De La Hoya? How embarrassing. You're supposed to be a media guy, not a PR guy for Eddie Hills, you little licker. You're being groomed. Can't you see it? Can I give a big shout out to Racers Now YouTube? That's my good friend Smido, Adam Smith, not Bean Adam Smith. Adam Smith, the real Adam Smith from Nottingham. Isn't that right, Adam? Pop, pop, bang. Also, I need to give a big shout out to Porky's International, our sister channel. Why don't you jump over there and have a little neb at what we're doing? A neb is what we call it in the north. And the last big shout out is to Vaz Blackwood for bigging me up on his channel. For those of you who don't know who Vaz Blackwood is, he played the Shadow in Only Fools and Horses and Rory Breaker in Lock Stock. How are you doing, Vaz? Pop, pop, bang. Porkycorner@mail.com. Drop me a line. Right. Where do we start? Well, first of all, I'm going to answer a few questions. Max should be on it next couple of days. Sean's on later, and Andy, who's not from Aberdeen. Dave's the newbie. He'll be on it next couple of days, and Jerry and Kent will be bringing up the rear at some point. Right, on to the show last night in Sheffield. Oh, and how the mighty have fallen. Eddie Hills. Hills. Oh my God, what was that show Eddie put on, eh? Absolutely embarrassing. 9 fights on. Let me just read out some of the names. Does anybody recognize any of these? Jimmy Sains versus Omar Rodriguez. Giorgio Visioli against Diego Lagos. Conan Murray against Marco Simmons. Brandon Scott against Callum Turnbull. Ibrahim Suleiman against Kevin Trana. Josh Babb against Kelvin Majid. Gal Yafai against Sergio Orozco-Oliver. George Liddard against George Davey. Battle of the two Georges. And Peter McGrail against Brad Foster. Oh my God, how the mighty have fallen. But it just goes to show you, doesn't it, that the cupboards are bare. And the main event, and I mean main event, Rihanna Dixon against Terry Harper. 10 2-minute rounds for the WBO title. Yes, the WBO that nobody even counts in the real world of boxing. They count the IBO more than the WBO. So that's 10 fights for Eddie that he put on at the same arena that Izzy put his show on the night before. So it is what it is. But Tom Dallas, the matchmaker, he's got his work cut out. And yes, we're talking Tom Dallas, aren't we? The man that had Big Truck giving him a bump start round the block. And after about half a mile of pushing him, Big Truck says, put it in second gear, dip your clutch and put it in second gear. Old Tom Plankerwood Dallas popped his head out at window and said, it's an auto. There you go. That's why we call him Plank of Wood. So I don't even think there's worth mentioning about that show. Only that I got the prediction right that Terry Harper would get on a bike for 10 rounds and pinch a world title fight. But it is what it is, isn't it, really? But in the UK, there's only 12 in that weight division. Oh, my God. 12 in that weight division in the UK. How can that be? Hey, how can that be? No wonder women are in world title fights very, very quickly. There's 110 in the division in the men in the UK, so that's where we're at. But speaking of men in that division, can anybody explain to me how in the world there is 2,392 welterweights in the world, right? 2,392. How can BoxRec have Conor Benn as ranked number 2 in the world in that weight division? How can that be? When was the last time Conor Benn fought as a welterweight? It was 2022, his last welterweight fight. 2022. Oh my God. So how can BoxRec have him at number 2? Hey? Our BoxRec being manipulated by Eddie Hills, because when you don't fight normally for a year in that weight division, they don't give you a ranking. But Conor Benn is ranked number 2 BoxRec in the world. That is absolute madness. Absolute madness. Jaron Ennis is ranked number 1. Conor Benn number 2. Surely to God they must be fighting then, but how many belts has Conor Benn won in his life? Has he an area belt? Has he an English? Is he an English belt? Has he a Commonwealth? Has he a British? Has he a European? Or has he a world title? He doesn't own a belt. None of them belts. So how can he be ranked number 2? Answers on a postcard. porkycorner@mail.com. Now, what's concerning me at the moment is old Crusher Ben has still not come out and showed us the 274-page dossier. How can that be? We've been waiting over 2 years for the dossier. Connor, where's this dossier? Can you come out and tell us? Because all you're doing at the moment is strutting around Wembley Stadium with your old man, age 28, but your next gen, by the way. 28-year-old, 23-0, strutting around like a peacock, driving about in a Rolls Royce, and you've not won a belt. You're a fraud. You're like Steffi Bull making out his Terry Harper's trainer in corner, speaking over her trainer. No, you're not her trainer. Ray Doyle were a trainer for years. Then you made out you were. Now she's got another dude back in corner. Her old amateur coach. Isn't that enough to tell you don't know what you're doing? Hey? In my opinion, you need to start getting on the Conor Benn juice for when you get that porridge. Because if Purple Hacky gets the grip of you, you'll know about it. You'll be walking around doing the owl. Pop, pop, bang on that one, Steffi Bull. Hey? There's a nice warm bed for you waiting at Donkey Traz. But Crusher Ben, number 2. Oh, my God. Can anybody tell me why Frank Spotty Smith and Eddie Hills are talking Chris Eubank and Conor Benn? Nobody's interested in that fight no more. Hey? Nobody whatsoever wants to see that fight. But the main talk this week has all been about Anthony Joshua, hasn't it, really? Big Mal and Anthony Joshua. So we're going to put it to bed now, aren't we? Anthony Joshua shot to bits. But Triple T, old turkey neck, he's popped up on it going on about the rematch, saying he wants it. Nobody wants that rematch. Nobody wants to see it. It's embarrassing if they put that rematch on. But what can we do? It's boxing, isn't it? It's the wild, wild west. So it is what it is, isn't it? But I want to know, and I'm not going to let it go. Is Crusher Ben going to come out and admit that he's on a silent ban? No, he's not. It's a bit like Adam Bean Smith, isn't it? Bean. Rudder bean, could have been, should have been, never been, baked bean, creepy bean, beanie, or Rumpelstiltskin. We're on to you with that cancer story, aren't we? Well, I'm not going to let it go, Bean. Everybody knows that naughty men you were taking loans off came looking for you at Sky for payment. You had to get a couple of your pals to help you out. And we know who they are, don't we, Beanie? So stop with your cancer stories. It's a load of old macaroni. Come out and unburden yourself on Porky's Corner. because I'm not going to let it go. I'm like a dog with a bone, especially with these silent bands, eh? And these cancer stories. Oh my God. What about Big Malk with his stories about Daniel Kinahan being the godfather to his children? Oh my God, Big Malk, you're a fantasist. And all your black magic stories and all that. It's absolute pony macaroni. Well done to Don Charles, though, putting it on the gad on TalkSport, telling him your love is fake. Well done, Don Charles. I'm Team Don Charles now. Team Don Charles, the trainer of champions, eh? The man that Derek Chisora were using as a dishcloth, not paying him correctly, or not even paying him at all sometimes, sacking the man 6 times and having him come crawling back, saying we're brothers from another mother and all that. Don, don't be a brass. Be your own man now. You've got the pick of every fighter you can have now. You're the trainer of an heavyweight champion, even if it is by default. Look, Don, we're not saying your man's a paper champion, but he is. Just because he beat Joshua, don't mean to say he's a proper champion, but you've got to take the rough with the smooth, Don. Well done getting there. You got there by hook or crook. Technically, it was by crook, but you got there in the end. It's how you get there, innit? All right, you've got Usyk's cast-offs. So it is what it is. Let's see you give Derek Chisora a chance now to fight Dubois or Joseph Parker, Kabayel, Zhang, any one of them. Give them a chance, Don. All right. Park Big Meech up. Park him up. Don't do what Turkey says. Be your own men. Because nobody really wants to see that rematch, do they? But if you do fight him, we'll all get behind you, Don. Hopefully, he'll put Big Meech out to Kip. He'll wake up, obviously, because we don't want anybody hurt, do we? But he needs putting out at sport, doesn't he, Big Meech? What he's been doing for years is shocking. He's been pulling wool up at fans' eyes. We don't want to see it anymore, Don. So well done. You're basking in your glory. Well done. I'm Team Don Charles. I just want everybody to know. All right. So well done to Huey getting a win. Huey Fury. Well done to Maxie Hughes and well done to Terry Harper. But Terry Harper's style had put you to sleep, wouldn't it? 2-minute rounds, running and running and running, odd jab and then getting on your bike. We don't want to see people going backwards. It's not good for the sport. But hey ho, what can you do? But them 10 fights on there were shocking from Eddie Hills. Nobody even knows who any of them are. Is that the next generation of boxers? If so, we're in massive, massive trouble. Too many fighters are parked up, waiting for the Saudi call. It's not good. Not good at all. But what can you do? Can I give another big shout out to Porky's International, our sister channel? Chris Burns, when are you coming back on? Can people stop boring me with emails asking when Rico's coming back and Julian? They're not coming back. They're sick of boxing. They hate it. You know what I mean? If they want to come back, they're welcome. They know where I am, but I'm not going to bend over backwards and be greased and ask people to come on here who don't want to come on. They know where I'm at. So stop sending begging letters to me. All right. If you're not happy with current commission, don't watch. Nobody's forcing you to watch. That goes for you trolls who keep emailing me, Porky, I don't like this, I don't like that. Don't watch. You know, when I was a kid on a Sunday afternoon, I'd have my Sunday dinner, and then you know what I'd do then? We'd sit in house and my mum would put Howard's Way on. Do you remember that? Them stuck-up people with, I didn't want to watch shit like that. So I'd go upstairs out my way and read Ring magazine. So if you're bored of Porky's Corner, go to something constructive with your life. Go smoke a spliff or something, or go for a walk round block. All right. Pop, pop, bang. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Right, I'm going to start booking some Zooms in now. All right. Take care. If anybody's offended by this video, I don't care. Piss off.